ladies and gentlemen. This is Alex from Championship on the Line podcast. And today, my very special guest here today, it's an honor to have this guy. He's right now doing big things. He's in Championships from Hollywood, which he is one half of the United Wrestling Network Tag Team Champions with the Bodega. You know what they say, where you could get anything you need, even a butt whooping. And he is Mr. Papo, King Fatboy Esco, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much.
What's going on, man? Thanks for having me on. It should be fun.
Oh, no, man. Oh, I'm excited, man. Like I said, I've been watching you for a while, killing it in Championships in Hollywood. Really excited to have you on.
Appreciate that.
Real quick, we do a quick little segment for the fans to get to know you a little bit better. I ask fun questions just to get to know you better. Is that cool? We do that for you?
Yeah, man. What's going on?
All right, cool. So I'm going to ask you real quick questions. So the first one, favorite movie of all time?
Man, there's a couple, actually. I would say the ones I watched the most, The Last Dragon. It's a movie from the 80s. Bruce Leroy, Shogun of Harlem. Face Off is another one I like to watch a lot. I'm a huge Oakland A's fan, so Moneyball is one that I watch a lot for sure. And then, there's just so many, man. Those probably are the ones that I watch the most. So those would probably be my favorites. Yep.
Awesome. Those are really good movies, by the way. Those are really great movies. Moneyball is a really good one. For sure, Brad Pitt.
Yeah. Hell yeah. Yep.
That's awesome. And then with the second question, what is your favorite music artist or band you like to listen to?
Man, believe it or not, I'm a rhythm and blues guy. I like when I want to be calm, when I want to be just kind of chill and just vibe out. I listen to a lot of Stevie Wonder. Jodeci is like my all-time favorite R&B group band. But I like hip hop too. Cameron, E40, NWA. Even I like even the new guys. Pop Smoke, rest in peace. Juice WRLD, rest in peace. So I'm all over the place. I don't really listen to a lot of country music, so you never catch the King Fatboy listening to any country music. Not to say that it's not bad. It's just not my cup of tea.
Yeah, same here. I can't get into it for some reason.
Yeah.
Awesome. And then with the third one, what is your favorite TV show?
Hey, I'm watching The Chi right now.
Oh, okay.
I like that show. I started from season 1 because I know season 4 just started. So I'm about in season 3 right now. I'm working through it. So I'm working with that, and I like a lot of the stuff that's on the Disney Plus app, like Falcon and Winter Soldier. I just started Loki. That WandaVision was really cool. So just shows like that, pretty much.
Okay, cool, awesome. And then outside of wrestling, do you have any hobbies you like to do for fun?
Man, honestly, bro, outside of wrestling, it's just my family. I've done a lot of podcasts. So, everybody that listens to these podcasts knows I got a wife, I got a son, I got a daughter. So outside of that, man, I watch a lot of basketball and baseball. Basketball is my all-time favorite sport. The Golden State Warriors, I've been a fan of since I was a kid. My second favorite sport is baseball. So I'm a huge Oakland A's fan. So between those two, my kids and my wife, that's pretty much all I do outside of wrestling, man. Living the good life. I can't complain.
Awesome. That's awesome, man. That's awesome. And then with the next one, do you have like a favorite type of food or favorite meal you like to eat?
Anything my wife cooks, to be quite honest with you. Hey, I'm a sucker for a good sandwich, man. If somebody makes a good sandwich, or if I could make myself a good sandwich, I have sandwiches all day. So that'd probably be like my go-to, just a real quick, thorough sandwich, roast beef, turkey, chicken,
Okay, cool, awesome. And then with the next one, I don't know if you're a gamer, but if you are, do you have a favorite video game?
I'm not a gamer, man. I leave that up to my son. But when we do play, because he'll ask me every now and again to play with him. We play a lot of NBA 2K, MLB, the show, and then obviously the wrestling games. You know, wrestling games are always fun. You know, the WWE 2K series. They just came out with the retro wrestling and, you know, all that stuff. So anything wrestling too is a real good time. Other than that, I don't really like, you're not going to catch me on Call of Duty. You're not going to catch me on none of those other games like that. But it's just not for me, bro. So, you know,
Okay,
I'll
cool.
watch it. Yeah.
Okay, awesome. And then before your match, is there any type of rituals you like to do before you go in the ring?
Honestly, what you see is what I do, man. I just kind of sit down and kind of just go over everything that you know, I plan on doing and I want to do out there. And I mean, I like to tell you that I probably would be punching walls and, you know, headbutting lockers and stuff like that. But honestly, for me, you know, if you stay ready, you don't have to get ready. So, you know, I just try to stay ready at all times. I stay in that mode. I stay in that, you know, that engaged, you know, focused state. And when I go out there, as soon as that music hits, I'm ready.
That's cool. That's awesome. Yeah, as soon as you hit that curtain, man, the switch changes and
man, it's on and popping. Actually, the switch never changes. I'm the same. Like honestly, yeah. As soon as that music hits, man, yeah, I guess the switch does change. You know, I mean, right now I'm not all aggro and irritated and, you know, pissed off or whatever. But I mean, you know, I'm the same dude regardless. So
okay, cool, awesome.
Yeah.
And then with the last question, you could have a match that isn't a wrestler. It could be a celebrity, an athlete, a character in a show or a movie, anyone. Who would it be?
It would be a wrestler, and actually. I don't know, you know, people that watch me wrestle and whatever, they always say things like that. Things like they remind me of Bam Bam Bigelow. I would have loved to have wrestled him. You know, in his prime, I would have loved to have went head to head with him. There's a movie called Over the Top. It's like an old school movie. It's like with Sylvester Stallone. Yeah. It's like a arm wrestling.
Arm
movie.
wrestle, yeah.
Yeah, I'll throw hands. I'll throw hands with Bull Hurley all day.
Ooh.
So, you know, if Bull Hurley is still out there and he's watching this, let him know I'm looking for him.
And how do you see that match going if that were to happen?
Oh, I'm gonna put hands on him, bro. It's gonna be Bodega beat down all day. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. We gotta set up now. Put it on Twitter, everything.
I'm ready.
Awesome. Well, once again, man, I really appreciate you taking the time to doing this. Been watching your stuff for a long time. I've been you know, watching you in Championship Wrestling Hollywood, you know, especially what you're doing with Danny Limelight and Slice Boogie. It's been really cool watching you progress from your debut there and now we are now as champion. Especially with everything going on with COVID and everything. How has it been wrestling with no crowd for you?
You know, I mean, I'm not going to sit here and lie to you and say that it's not better with a crowd. You know, feeling the energy from the crowd, just the excitement, all the screams and the hollering, the cheers, the boos, all that stuff like that definitely sets the tone or could change the direction of a match. You know, there's nothing else like it, you know, but honestly, wrestling in front of no crowd, it really puts things in a different light. And honestly, it actually helps make you a better wrestler. In my opinion, you have to stay engaged. You have to stay locked in. You have to stay aggressive. You have to stay, you know, for the good guys, they got to stay fired up. For the bad guys, they got to stay dirty and nasty, you know, and sometimes the crowd will help you with that. Right. But, when you're dealing with no crowds whatsoever, just you, another person, a ring and a camera, a referee too, you know, it gets a little hard sometimes, but you just got to stay focused. That's where the discipline that we learn while training, you know, and learning how to be a wrestler comes into play. You know, it's a lot of discipline, a lot of focus. You know what I mean? You can't let yourself stray away from your mission. And that's to have a great match, whether there's fans or whether there's not fans. But actually, there is fans. You know, we're wrestling for this right here, for the camera. You know, so it also helps us understand that the camera is, you know, where we need to focus when we're wrestling on TV or in a TV environment. So there's a lot of good and bad, but you know, it's either way. I prefer the fans, but I don't really, you know, complain in the other side. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I'm thinking like it must be hard for you guys, because you guys are looking for that reaction from the crowd. So if no crowd there, you know, there's no audience, there's no reaction, and that's where you're kind of pretty much working for, right?
Yeah, but then for me, you know, like for me, it's all like, so when I go out there and I'm in the ring and I'm doing what I do, when we don't have the fans, I in my ear, like I hear them.
Yeah.
It's like a weird thing. I can hear the fans, you know, and it helps me doing that, you know, just like trying to hear the fans, even though they're not there. It helps me understand a little bit better, you know, what I should do, what I shouldn't do, and where, you know, where I should take the match. And honestly, it's good for the camera, you know. So you know, just me, you know, pretending they're there helps me out a lot. You know, I know a lot of other dudes do that too. They might not admit it, but yeah, they do. They pretend they're there. So.
Oh yeah, and then like, you know, even the matches you guys are putting out there are such great matches. You know, especially like with 4 minutes of heat and the commodities. You know, you guys are putting on really great matches, and it's really awesome to see. And you know, and I want to go take it back to the beginning of your career. Like, tell me the journey. Like, what got you to wrestling?
Well, I've said this before. I'll say it again, because I think for me, it's like it's a proud moment for me for a lot of reasons. And I got into wrestling on a personal challenge. Right, so I had my kids young. Right, so you know, when I probably about, you know, I don't know how many years ago it was back then. You know, I'm talking to my kids; they're just becoming teenagers. You know, my daughter was 13, my son was probably 11. And I'm telling them, you know, hey, man, you can do anything you want in life if you put your mind to it. And I truly believe that. It doesn't matter if it's you, an old man, a young man, it doesn't matter. Whatever it is that you want to do in your life, it's achievable, man. You just have to, you know, write it down, create an avenue, create a path to get there, and then don't stop, you know, chase that dream down. And you can get there. It doesn't really matter how far-fetched. Now, I mean, there are caveats to that, like, you know, if you can't sing, you're not going to be a singer. But there's, you know, realistically, you can do whatever it is that you want. So I'm telling them this. I don't know. It was make fun of dad day, so they were like, yeah, whatever, dad. Ha ha ha, right? So I told them, you know, hey, I'm gonna choose something that you would never ever even think of me doing, and I'm gonna show you that if you put your mind to it, you could do it. So I found a pro wrestling school, which is right here, Pro Wrestling Revolution Training Academy. I started training, and within a few months, I was in the ring wrestling. And before you know it, I was wrestling it, you know, everywhere in this area. And you know, I've done a lot of things with Pro Wrestling Revolution on global internet pay-per-view. I've been on All Pro Wrestling, which is another big promotion out here in Northern California. I don't know if you're familiar with Beyond the Mat, but Beyond the Mat was a wrestling documentary, and All Pro Wrestling APW was highlighted on that documentary. And I wrestled for them for years, and you know, they've given me a big platform. And then United Wrestling Network, man. You know, I've been blessed between those three promotions. On a grand scale, they put me in front of like internet, you know, iPay-per-view. Also, you know, now I'm on TV, you know, weekly or every other week or whatever. You know, actually weekly, because even on the programs where I'm not wrestling, you can see my face on the signature when you know they start. So I'm there every week, you know, and it's just it's a blessing. It's a blessing for two reasons. One, in you know, I'm able to progressively, you know, build myself up to where, you know, I started and where I am now, you know, and I have a lot more work to do, a lot more climbing to do. The other blessing is I was able to achieve my goal, which was, my kids now know that you can do anything you want. I proved it. You can do anything you want in life. You put your mind to it, and now my kids, they're chasing down their dreams. I tell them, hey, it doesn't matter if you want to be a janitor, bro. Honestly, if it makes you happy and that's your dream, then be the best that you can be. You know what I mean? Don't be a part of the business. Be the business. There's nothing that you can't do, and there's no heights that you can't achieve if you just put your mind to it. You chase that down. So that's really where it is, man. I mean, the rest is history. That's how I got started, and I'm proud to say that every single time, because I think that my kids are on the right track, and I'm excited to see where they're going to be in a few years.
Oh yeah, man, that's awesome, man. That's so awesome that you're in it's such a
Yeah,
beautiful story. It really
yeah,
is.
I appreciate that.
You're being a role model to them, and you're showing anything is possible. And as long as you stay consistent and just keep doing and don't stop, and you're an example of it, man. Because everything you're doing, it's amazing work, and it shows. And I wanted to know, when you went to the school, when you went to Wrestling Revolution, your first day, how was it? What was the training like on the first day you went to school?
So this right here is the ring where I took my first role, my first bump, my first everything right here, and I Pro Wrestling Revolution is a lucha libre based promotion, right?
Mm.
And the lucha curriculum it's horrendous, man. It's like it's if you I see I'm not too familiar with how guys out in Japan, like New Japan and All Japan and those guys train. I've heard it's rigorous, but I mean, I've trained American style and I've trained lucha, and I feel like training lucha first gave me a jump start with coordination, with body control, with just understanding what the movements are, and just kind of letting fireworks go off in my brain about certain things that we do in the ring that most people don't know about. So lucha and the cardio is crazy. I might not look like it when I'm on TV. I'm the king fat boy, but I can go. If I need to. So between the cardio, the bumps, and the rolls, and all those big high flying spots that the guys do that I would need to base for. It's pretty rigorous, man. It's not, hey, if this was easy, everybody would do it. But guess what? Everybody can't do it. So I've been blessed to train here. I still train here. You see, I'm here. I'm gonna train with some of the beginners tonight. Try to help them kind of up the end. But yeah, man, training is, hey, you got to train. And even when you start wrestling, you got to continue to train. Never stop training. Yeah.
Absolutely. And was there any mentor did you have there, or any advice that they given you that you still keep to this day?
Man, with Pro Wrestling Revolution Training Academy, I've been under the learning tree of a lot of people. Locally, the Brown Bomber, Robert Thompson, he's a legend out here. He was a mainstay and a top figure in APW in the Beyond the Mat days. He's here. Gabe Ramirez, who also is an original for the APW brand. He's been in the business, near 25 years, coming up on 25 years. Such a wealth of knowledge, so many good tips, and he's definitely, swayed me from doing things that I shouldn't have been doing or shouldn't be doing. And he's kind of pushed me towards, the right path. So I appreciate him for that. But on the other side, we've had a lot of guys that are just at my disposal. Guys like Juventud Guerrera, guys like Super Crazy, Blue Demon. I mean, we're about to have Dragon Lee come in a few weeks, to come. So just like so many different people, that have just been there that I can pick their brain and kind of ask them questions. You know, I was able to kind of ask questions and pick the brain of Jushin Thunder Liger. You know, I mean, dude, there's so many different people. Chavo Guerrero, MVP, so many different people that I've been able to talk with and kind of just, you know, just learn from. You know, so I feel appreciative and I feel blessed that I've been able to take a lot from a lot of different people.
That's awesome, man. Like some of the names you just mentioned, MVP, Chavo Guerrero, Liger. You know, when talking to these guys, was there anything they said specifically that you still remember that you kept with?
I mean, there's a lot of different things. You know, a lot of the same things that people, you know, talk about is, you know, just got to be you.
Yeah.
You have to be confident. You have to be confident in who you are. You have to be confident in what you do. And I am, you know, hey man, I don't look like, you know, Brian Cage. I don't have muscles all over my body and I won't be in the gym 20 hours a day. You know, I'm not like Ricochet. I'm not high flying everywhere. I'm not like Zack Sabre Jr. I'm not tying people in knots. You know, I'm me. I know what I go in there and do, and I know what I have to do. I'm the king fat boy. I don't look like them. So I'm not gonna try to be something I'm not. I'm comfortable in my own skin. So that's one of the things I took away from them is just be you. You know you, know what you want to do, and you know, just never stop running your mouth. You know, I like to talk. So I'm gonna keep doing what I do. I'm gonna keep doing what I want, and I'm gonna talk a lot of cash along the way.
Oh yeah, it shows, especially like the promos and everything you do. That they're always entertaining. I love watching them every week on Hollywood, especially with you and Limelight. The chemistry you guys have together. When you guys do the pro, like when you do a promo, was there any when you're starting out? Was there any film that you would watch on a specific wrestler to get inspiration from?
Everybody, I can't even like. I know a lot of people say that they have like you know, like, oh, I watch Ric Flair a lot. I watch Shawn Michaels a lot. I watch Cactus Jack a lot. Dude, me, I watched everybody, bro. I watched everybody from the guys that absolutely suck to the dudes that are just like on fire when it comes to the promos. The thing is if I had anything, if I had to give anybody advice about promos, I would say watch everybody, even the
Yeah.
ones that are just cringy, like the ones that are almost embarrassing, and they're out there, you know, like though even those ones, because you're going to catch things that you don't like, and you're going to catch things that you shouldn't be doing. But you're also going to catch things. You're also going to catch things that was like, okay, that was clever, you know. That was okay, you know. Like you're going to find the bad and the good, and honestly, the bad is just as good as the good, and sometimes even better because it's going to push you towards, you know, where you want to be in your promos, you know, because I mean, you obviously know when something's wrong, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if you're really a student of the game and you're really trying to be a good promo person, you want to watch those bad things and you want to write them bad things down so that you don't do that, you know? So I just watched everything, bro. I can't, I wish I could tell you there was one guy that I watched a lot. I watched everybody, bro. That's probably one of the reasons why, you know, I can confidently say I can go promo for promo with just about anybody in the industry right now. You
Oh,
know,
absolutely. I totally agree.
all I need is space and opportunity. You know.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I totally agree. I think you can go with anyone, especially with promos. Like I said, I love them. I think they're great. They're entertaining. The things you say, it's awesome. And and going back, what was it like when you made your debut for the first time and you hit that curtain? What was it like for you?
So the crazy thing about that is I think I'd like to think that most people would say that their first match was in like a very small, you know, building with probably like 100 people, 200 people, you know, and they were nervous or whatever. Yeah, I was nervous, man. I debuted in San Francisco, California, in front of about 1,200 people,
Ooh,
right? So my debut match, first time wrestling on a big stage at all, you know, 1,200 people. all just rabid fans. They're booing and cheering and they're just going crazy. And honestly, I didn't know how I was going to be perceived. Like I told you before earlier, I'm not Brian Cage or Zack Sabre or
Mhm.
Ricochet. I'm not these dudes. I don't be looking like them, man. I'm not, I'm not aesthetically pleasing. You know what I mean? Promoters don't look at me and see the same thing that they see, that they see when they look at them dudes. I got to bring something different to the table. So here I am backstage, 1,200 people. I'm about to be, they're about to, say my name, the King Fat Boy Papa Wesco, and I
Mhm.
didn't know how they were going to receive the King Fat Boy part. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
they're going to come out and they're just going to see this fat dude in spandex walk into the ring. How are they going to receive it? But that first time, I realized that there's a great deal of people that just love wrestling so much that it doesn't matter what you look like. And there's an even greater percentage of people that gravitate towards the underdog. And let's be honest, I'm a big dude. So if I really want to maul somebody in the ring, I'm going to do that. It doesn't
Yeah.
matter how many muscles you have. It don't matter how rough you think you are. If I want to, I'm going to drop you and there's nothing you can do about it, right?
Mhm.
But the reality is when people see me, they see me as inferior or weaker a lot of times than those cats that have the big muscles or are doing the flips and everything. So I was like, yo, how are these people going to react to me? Like they're probably going to boo the hell out of me, not in a good way, but just like because they don't want to see me. But
Yeah.
when I stepped out, it was surprising, the boos and the cheers and the respect that they were giving me was it was eye opening. It let
Mhm.
me know that I can definitely do this. I just need to stay focused. I just need to stay the course, and that's what I'm doing. So
That's awesome, man. This is crazy because like when I ask wrestlers this question, like you said, they'll I wrestle 100 people or 50 people, but man, over
uh,
1,000 people for a debut, man,
and
that's
that's the thing.
crazy.
That's the thing, man. APW, Pro Wrestling Revolution. That's the main one. Like Pro Wrestling Revolution. That's the promotion that runs this academy. Bro, I I'll go on record as to say that I believe that Pro Wrestling Revolution is like one of the premier, if not the premier, lucha libre companies in North America, and the proof is in the pudding because whenever they have a big show, it's 800 plus people. I can honestly say I've never seen a big show that we've done where it was under 800 people.
Mhm.
So I mean, just having that experience in big, crowd scenarios, it really, it jump started me for stuff like United Wrestling, Championship Wrestling from Hollywood, and the other promotions that are under that umbrella. So huge shout out to Pro Wrestling Revolution.
That's awesome. And yeah, absolutely agree, man. One of the premieres in, like you said, North America for sure, especially the shows you're
Yeah.
putting in the audience. Absolutely. And also like we were talking about this before, mentioning MVP and Chavo Guerrero Jr., you had matches with those guys. What
Yeah, I
was it
did.
like? What was it like being in the ring with those guys and working with them?
Man, it was honestly, for me, I would say that it was a little premature. I would definitely love to run back MVP versus the King Fat Boy Papa Wesco because right now where I'm at in my wrestling life, I would give him a little bit more of a run for his money. Chavo, that was a good match, man. That taught me a lot. I mean, the curtains pulled back on wrestling. I mean, everybody knows what goes on. People, you would be, I would be stupid not to think that you don't know that we talk about stuff before we go out, to do our thing, right? So one of the things that Chavo taught me was that I have the ability to not have to talk at all and just go out there and feel it in the ring.
Mhm.
Chavo, he asked me, he asked maybe one or two things, and then he was like, "Okay, I'll see you out there." So the reason why I like that match a lot is because it was just organic from the beginning
Mhm.
to the end, I was scared out of my mind, because, I hadn't talked to him at all, maybe like one thing that we had talked about, but that was it. So just like to feel it, hear the crowd, organically feel how things are going to go in the ring. It was definitely one of the best experiences of my life, because after that, I knew that if I got into some trouble in the ring, where someone got lost, or where maybe I got lost, or we hadn't had a chance to have a conversation, I could still direct traffic and make sure that we have a good time, and put some good work in. So yeah, it was pretty cool.
That's awesome. Like you said, like, since then you've improved so much in the matches you're doing right now. I would love to see those matches, like you rematch with MVP.
I want to run them back, bro. I want to run them back. I'll tell you what, if MVP ever wants to run it back, let's do that. If Chavo ever wants to run it back, I'm all for it, because me now versus then, I'm a much better
Oh yeah.
I'm a much better wrestler. I'm a much better talent, and I can put some better work in. I mean, I still got a lot to go, bro. I'm not. I don't want me talking to have people think that I think I'm just great. I'm not. I'm far from it. I got a long, long way to go, and I got a lot of training to do. So, but like I said, I progress. So, I'd like to run those back.
Yes, I'm saying we gotta set this up. If you guys are listening, we gotta run that back. We
Hey,
gotta make it
hey,
happen.
among others, what I mean.
Oh
It
yeah.
don't matter where. It don't matter who it is. It don't matter where it is. It could be in MLW, ROH. It could be in
Mhm.
United Wrestling Network. It could be down in APW or Pro Wrestling Revolution. Hell, it could be at the NWA or wherever, man. If anybody wants to run it with me, dude, all they gotta do is ask. I'll be there. I'm not hard to find. So I just want to wrestle everybody, as many people as I can, and see how that goes.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Those companies you just mentioned. Oh man, right away I'm thinking so many matches in my head. Like that would be so great. That would be 5-star matches. Absolutely. And mentioning Hollywood. You made your debut on September 5th of 2020 against I believe it was Frankie Frank.
It was.
And so tell me first, how did that come about, you going over there? Who reached to, and how did that all start?
It was. I'd like to think it was COVID, man. So I've always known about championship wrestling from Hollywood.
Mhm.
Even back in the day when the NWA was affiliated. The Seven Levels of Hate is one of my all-time favorite feuds. Colt Cabana, Adam Pearce. That
Mhm.
stemmed from championship wrestling from Hollywood. So I've known about them for a long time. And when I started wrestling, I knew that one of my goals was to wrestle there. I've had a word or two with David Marquez. And even back then, before the pandemic even hit, he would say, okay, yeah, he's like, I have plans, but it's just not time yet. So you got to wait for your number to get called. And
Mhm.
I was patient, I could be as patient as I need to be. And I'm not one of them dudes that is going to go seek out. I'm not going to give you my resume and my promo and my match and say, please, sir, may I have an opportunity? I'm not like that, bro. If you see me and you feel like you want me, you're going to reach out and we're going to talk. I've never been that guy that's going to beg. So I just bided my time, just patiently. Pandemic hit and everything shut down.
Mhm.
And I was still training. I was still, exercising, even though it was by myself. I was still doing what I needed to do to try to keep myself in the shape that I was in. And one day I got a call from Nick Bonanno and John
Mhm.
Roberts, and they said, hey, would you be interested in coming? We're going to start up Championship Wrestling from Hollywood again, and would you be interested in coming out? And I said, yeah, man, just let me know when. So they let me know when. They gave me the layout of what they were thinking with me, and the rest you're seeing play out. So that was really. I'd like to give you some better story, but that's really how easily that was, man.
That's
Hey,
awesome.
you want
Yeah,
to? Yeah, yeah.
that's awesome. And then, like, have your match against Frank, and then, starting the bodega, starting to teaming up with Limelight. How did that partnership happen? Whose idea was it? How did that get started?
It was kind of just, I mean, I've always wanted a faction like Los Boricuas, not like, but back in the day, the Attitude Era, they had Savio Vega and them guys, just a bunch of Puerto Rican dudes, Los Boricuas. They were a faction. I got excited because I was like, "Yo, that's my people, man. They running it." And they didn't go as far as I wanted them to go, but they were there for a little bit of time. And when I got into wrestling, my thought is, yo, we can have a Puerto Rican faction. Like we can have like either a Puerto Rican faction or at least just a conglomerate of Boricuas that would, be all over the nation. That can be like a clique, kind of thing. So that's always been like my goal and my want. So as I started wrestling, I started getting connected with a lot of different Puerto Ricans around the wrestling scene, and I knew of Danny. And I knew of Slice, but I had never really met them. And I didn't get a chance to, interact with them cats until I got over to Championship Wrestling from Hollywood. And honestly, I will say this, man, Danny's out doing his own thing. He's on fire. You know what I mean? Slice Boogie's out doing his own thing. He's on fire. I'm holding down the fort here. When we first met, it was like we knew each other for a long time, and it must have been the culture, the way we was brought up as Puerto Rican people, that's probably what like gravitated us to each other. You know what I mean? So it was kind of like an organic thing. I met Danny the first day, and it was like we had known each other for a long time. I met Slice not too long after, and it was like we had known each other for a long time. So. That's dope. I don't think you get that a lot when it comes to putting people together, and I'm excited to see where the bodega, goes, where whether it continues or not. I think that we're always going to be connected and together. You know what I mean? I found a couple of good dudes, and I don't plan on losing them anytime soon. Yeah,
that's awesome. Yeah, because like I said, like before, you guys have such great chemistry and you guys just match perfectly, and it's rare to see that, because there's been times where you see tag teams and it just you don't see it. With you and Slice and Danny, it's just perfect, and
it's natural. It's natural too. I want to tell you guys, I want to let you in on a secret, bro. A lot of people that do promos, they script themselves. They have something that they want to say, and they continuously go over and go over and go over. It's like learning lines in a movie. With me and even with Danny and Slice, it's kind of like record and go. A lot of the stuff that you see us do with Jack Farmer and John Roberts and whoever else, whenever we cut promos on other people or whatever, it's an organic thing. It's like it's like it was meant to happen. It's not forced. It's not overly produced or anything like that. When it's promo time for us, 9.999 times out of 10, these cats are telling us, yo, just go out there and do what you do, but don't curse. Don't curse, but do what you do. And hey, man, you can't find too many guys like that, and to have 3 in one click.
Yeah.
It's
true.
Money. Yeah.
That's true. Very, very true. And, and watching you guys, like I remember you guys made your debut against the Millennials and then, beating those guys and then winning the titles. And I believe you guys beat Adrian Quest and Andy Brown, which was an awesome match. But talk about that moment. What was it like winning that match and winning those titles?
Well, it was Dom Gubert, right? And Andy Brown. Adrian Quest wasn't there that day. But I mean, it was a surreal moment, for a lot of reasons. I mean, you saw how quick it was that we won those belts. And not many people do that. You have tag teams that come in, or even wrestlers that come in, singles wrestlers or women wrestlers, and they have a build and it takes them a couple months, and before you know it, they're finally getting chances at championships, and then maybe a few months after that, they're finally getting a shot to win the championship. So sometimes it could take a few years for a cat to even get a chance,
Yeah.
but it was a huge accomplishment and a real blessing, to be able to get put in a position to win those titles early, and we still
Mhm.
hold them, to this day. So I think it's coming up on a year in a couple months, right?
Yeah.
So it's hopefully we can keep these things for as long as we can, because honestly, when you talk about United Wrestling, bro, we're the tag team. There's Arizona, there's Gulf Coast, there's Hollywood, there's Memphis,
Yeah.
we got Atlanta coming. There's a lot of other cities that are on the table that are down the pipeline. And as long as we are the United Wrestling World Tag Team Champions, make no mistake, we are the United Wrestling World Tag
Champ.
Team Champions. We're going to travel around, and we're going to let these cats, all the United Wrestling companies, know that we're the umbrella tag team. You know what I'm saying? We sit above everybody, and you're going to have to work your tail off to even have a shot at beating us for these belts. So we're excited. We're excited to see what the future holds.
Oh man, me too. I cannot wait. Especially what you guys are doing right now. You guys are killing it right now in Hollywood, and especially with the matches you guys had, like the Hogsmen, the Commodities, the Wolf Zaddies, 4 minutes of heat, with great matches. What's your favorite match so far that you've done in Hollywood?
Um, I like working with 4 minutes of heat.
Mm-hmm.
I like working with them cats. They're an old school tag team. Like they're old school tag team. Like the Midnight Express and Rock and Roll Express, and
Mm-hmm.
the Andersons. They're a throwback to that time. I like working with them
Yeah.
cats because that they have a certain chemistry that I believe meshes well with us. And it's completely different. Like you put us side by side, we're two completely different
Yeah.
entities, two completely different teams. You would never like even think of seeing us in the same bar together. You know what I mean? So, but when we come together, it feels like, it feels like we're meant to fight forever,
Mm-hmm.
and I would say anything having to do with them cats, I would say would probably be my favorite.
That's awesome. Yeah. Like I said, when you guys, like, I think a couple weeks ago, you guys had a match together and it was awesome. Especially the chemistry you guys have. It just fits so perfectly. And I can see you guys wrestle for hours because it's so, chemistry,
Yeah.
everything is on point.
And that was a good story. You're talking about the 4-way, right? You're talking about the 4-way?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was a good story, because if you look at it, we didn't never touch until the
Mm-hmm.
end,
Yeah.
and the tension was there. Um, that build was, in my opinion, that was a hot build. And yeah, that was a lot of fun to be in that match.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, absolutely. It was such a great match, and especially like if someone's watching this right now and they want, a wrestler's watching this and he wants to be a tag team, what advice can you give to them that wants to be a tag team and be successful like you guys?
Okay, so first of all, tag team wrestling, you have to understand what the purpose of tag team wrestling is, and that's the tag, right? So
Mm-hmm.
you have to understand that if you're going to be a tag team wrestler, you can't be selfish. You can't have aspirations of being a singles guy. You have to be locked in at that time
Mm-hmm.
with your partner. You have to have chemistry. You have to trust each other. You have to be able to feed off each other's creativity to create something even better, as if you were creating it, by yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Um, just understanding each other, and just creating a look and a product that is going to be appealing for the purpose of tag team wrestling, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so that's what I would say. I mean, it's not rocket science. You know what I mean? You link up with a dude, you want to be a tag team, you guys will figure it out.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, and then also if there's a person also watching this and is thinking about going to wrestling school, thinking about becoming a wrestler, what advice can you give to them that wants to get started in this business?
I would say find a school that has a good reputation. You're going to be able to find them. There's going to be schools out there where you'll walk in and say, "Yeah, I probably shouldn't be here." Um, when I walked into Pro Wrestling Revolution Training Academy, and make no mistake, there's a lot of good training academies in California. I mean, you got from the South, you got Santino Brothers. Jake Atlas is in NXT.
Yeah.
Bateman and what's his name, Brody King. They're in ROH. Pro Wrestling Revolution, believe it or not, trained Jungle Boy. He's in AEW.
Yeah.
And the who was it? Hood Slam, Stoner U. They trained Shotzi Blackheart and Mansoor in WWE. So there's a lot of good schools in California, and there's a lot of good schools everywhere else. So you got to find it. I mean, in the East Coast, in Florida, you got like Dudley's, you got the Creative Pro guys. There's so many different schools that you can, the Black and, what is it? Black and Proud or something like that. Seth Rollins. There's a lot of good schools out there. I mean, you if you really want to do it, you'll find something, and if you really, really are hungry to do it, you'll probably find something no matter where it is and go move there and train, understand your body and just be like real with yourself. Like, understand your body. Know if can you really do this? Is your coordination up to par? Are you doing the things that you need to do in order to keep your body flexible and agile? I'm a big dude, but you if you've seen me in the ring training, you would be surprised at what I can do. So you have to have that type of coordination and ability. But chase that down, man. Chase that down. Being a professional wrestler isn't the only thing in the industry. If you want to be a referee, if you want to be a manager, if you want to be a ring announcer, if you want to be a play-by-play guy, a color commentator, it doesn't. If you want to own your own promotion, it doesn't matter what it is. Start at a school. Just find you a good school and work from there.
Awesome, man. Such great advice. And once again, man, it's been an honor to have you on here, man. Really, really appreciate you taking the time to do this, man. Really, thank you so much.
I appreciate you, man. Thank you for having me on.
Awesome. And then real quick, if there's anything where the fans go see you on social media, anything you want to plug in?
Yeah, catch Championship Wrestling from Hollywood, Championship Wrestling from Memphis every single week on Saturday. YouTube, you got a 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time for Championship Wrestling from Hollywood. You got 10 a.m. Pacific Standard, Championship Wrestling from Memphis. You can also check your local listings on your own area for TV listings. Championship Wrestling from Hollywood, Championship Wrestling from Memphis, Arizona, Gulf Coast. All these shows, are gonna open back up. So watch out for them. You'll catch King Fat Boy, Papa Wesco, Slice Boogie, Danny Limelight, the Bodega on there every week. If you want to follow me on social media, you can follow me on Instagram. That's Papa Wesco. You can follow me on Twitter. That's Papo_Esco. You can follow me on Facebook. That's Papa Wesco. I'm not hard to find, man. If you want to holler at me, just reach out and holler at me, bro. It's not a bad idea. You say hi, I'll say hi back. Just don't be a creep. And don't say no inappropriate stuff. If you do that, I won't even engage you. You know what I mean? But I'm not a bad guy, despite what you might think from the TV. But just check. I got a couple of merch things in the works. I've been lazy about it, bro. Everybody been asking me about merchandise, and I've just been so lazy about it, bro. I haven't really taken the time, but I'm gonna stop that now. So in the next couple of months, maybe like the next month, I'll have some stuff out on some stores. So check out for that. But hey, man, thanks for having me on, bro. It was real fun. Appreciate it.
Awesome, man. Thank you so much. And again, please catch them every Saturday night on KDOC and Fight TV on Champions from Hollywood. Once again, Papa, thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
No problem.
Have you on. And we'll see
Right
you
on,
guys
brother.
next time on Championship Online Podcast. We'll see you guys next time. Thank you so much for watching.